Hey guys, it's Caleb from Rokblokz. Today in the shop we have this 2019 Ram 3500 dually. We got a new step back mud flap kit for it, so let's go ahead and show you how to install it. Here we have the tools laid out that you'll need for install. You'll need a drill, a 5/16 drill bit, an 1/8" Allen. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver. We'll just be using this today. Then you'll need an 8mm socket and some thread locker. Here we have the front laid out. What you'll get in your kit is your front bracket for that corner. You'll get your front flap for that corner. You'll get your optional colored vinyl for the logo color. And then you'll also get the hardware. We'll go ahead and put a breakdown of that hardware on the screen right now. Before we head over to the vehicle, we're going to begin by taking our flap, flipping it over. Then we're going to take our number 10 dome nuts, or flange nuts, and we're going to press them into the hex-shaped holes. You may need a mallet or hammer to kind of help leverage those into position if they're a little bit snug, but being snug is good. That's what we're going for. Now we can flip it back over. We're going to take our vinyl, and if you didn't choose a colored vinyl, you can skip this step. We're going to take it, we're going to slightly align this with the bracket, and we're going to place our vinyl so that it's in the middle on all of our holes and the nuts, just centering it on all of those. With that centered, we're just going to roll that out. Now we're going to take our medium strength thread locker. I'm just going to put a bit on each of the nuts. Just a little bit goes a long way with these little screws. So just a little bit on each. Then we're done. Now we can go ahead and we're going to assemble our flap to our main bracket. To do so, we're just going to lift it up into position, align one of the holes. I like to start with both ends. So we're going to get one in on this side. There we go. I'll lift this side up and get another one started. Now we can go ahead and just finish putting in the rest of them. And we're going to go ahead and snug those down. And get those snug where the nut just barely seats itself down inside the plastic. And the flange on there is nice and flush. Alright, with those fully tightened, now you can prep the other front one, but let's go ahead, go to the vehicle, and show you how to install it. Here we are at the front fender. We're going to begin by removing the 4 OEM screws along the fender's edge. The second screw right here may not be present if you don't have the fender flares on your truck, but this one has all of them, so I'm just going to remove all 4 of those. It's just an 8mm socket on these number 10 screws, so we're just going to go ahead, get all 4 of those out of the way. We're going to reuse them, and just simply we're going to take the screw, place it through the provided washers. Do so for all 4 of those. Now we're going to take our flap, and what I like to do is just slightly curve it over my thigh. Just give it a little bit of curvature just by applying some pressure to bend the bracket. That's going to help it follow the curvature of the fender. Now we're just going to go ahead, lift it up into position, take our screws that we removed, place them back into the OEM holes, get those all started by hand. The bracket down here is designed to kind of step back and around the lower splash guard that comes on your truck. So that's going to sit along the back side of that splash guard and wrap around. Now once we've gotten those all into position, we're going to snug it down. We're going to adjust that to where we want it. If you want, you can check along the bottom edge with a level. Get that into position that you want, and we'll fully secure all the screws. With those fully tying down, that's how you complete the front install. You can repeat these same steps on the other side. Now let's go ahead and jump to the rear. Here we have the rear laid out. What you'll get in your kit is your rear bracket for that corner, your rear flap for that corner, and your optional colored vinyl, and then your hardware. We'll go ahead and put a breakdown of that hardware on the screen right now. Now, before we head to the vehicle, we're going to assemble the bracket and flap together on the bench. We're just going to go ahead and flip our flap over to the non-etch side. Now we're going to take our dome nuts or flange nuts, and we're going to press those into each of the hex-shaped holes. All right, now that we've got those in, we're going to flip it back over, and just like on the front, we're going to slightly line our bracket up so we can see where the logo is going to go. And then we're going to take our vinyl, prep it, and we're going to align it in between the mounting holes and right where our logo is. So lay it out, smooth it out. Now we'll grab our medium strength thread locker, and we're going to put just a little bit on each of the nuts. Now, just like with the front, we're going to go ahead, lift this up into position, and get both ends started, just to make it easier for the assembly. So. Now I'm going to work my way to the middle one, just because this is such a wide flap. Now we're just going to fully tighten all of those. those fully tightened down, you can repeat this for the other side. But now let's go ahead to the vehicle and show you how to install them. Here we are at the rear of the vehicle. We're going to begin by removing the 3 factory screws along the fender's edge. These are all a 8mm head. That's a number 10 screw. So we'll remove those. We're going to save those and reuse those. We're just going to place them on some washers like we did on the front. Place the 1¼ washer on the OEM screws. And then lastly, you'll have this 4th point that has an insert in it. You'll have to remove that. You may have to snip it with some side cutters if you can't get it with a screwdriver. Once that's been removed, now we're going to grab our flap and begin mounting. To do so, we're going to grab it, and just like on the front, I'm going to take it, put it over my thigh, and just give it a little bend, just to help follow the curvature of the fender. With that in place, we're going to take it in this hole here. We're going to take the OEM splash guard, and this is just going to wrap perfectly around there. Now we're going to take our OEM screw, align up this first hole, then we're going to work our way up the fender to the next OEM hole right here. And lastly, the top one, we're going to get this all aligned. Get that started by hand. I'm going to take our wrench, and then go ahead and get these lightly snug down. At this point, we're going to go ahead and adjust the flap, checking along the bottom with a level if you want. Get it adjusted to the position that we're after. With that in position, we're going to go ahead and fully lock it down. Now we're going to take one of our 1-inch number 14 screws with a washer. We're going to go through that 4th hole right here where we removed that insert from. We're going to go through both layers here, threading into it, and then we're going to take our clip and we're going to use that like a nut on the inside of the fender. And for the last hole, all the way on the inside here, you'll want to mark the liner, or you can take your screw and push it against it to dimple it. Then you'll need to take your 5/16 drill bit and you'll drill that from the inside, going all the way through, like so. Once that's been drilled, you can take your screw, place an 1¼ washer on it. I'm going to reach all the way in there, and then on the inside, just like that 4th hole, on this one we're going to use a large metal clip as a nut on the inside to secure that to the liner. Now we're just going to fully tighten that down. With all the screws fully tightened down, that's how you complete the rear install. You can repeat these same steps on the other side. Thanks for watching.